Welcome to episode 2 of P4FX. I'm your co-host, LoXus, and my other co-host,
Keep it rolling. This is good stuff.
DT-Faux. And today we're going to be your fairy godparents. No, I'm joking. But today is just going to be a rather chill stream. We're just going to basically be talking about what we've been up to, what we plan to do in the future, what games we've been playing and what games we plan on playing in the future, and pretty much anything random in between that. So it's going to be a rather chill podcast this time around.
Yeah. So what have you been up to, I guess, the past, at this point, 2 weeks?
Well, I guess as far as my job goes, we've been rolling out, we've been on this new project with our virtual machines, the virtual desktops. So people that don't know, it's basically when you host an entire desktop environment on the network. And then from there, you can, instead of having your desktop kind of built on a hard drive, when it's on the network, it's easier to access. Data's backed up automatically. It's pretty interesting. So right now we're working on a plan for that. That's took up a lot of my time. On the video game side of things, which is probably more relatable for people. I've actually been getting back into A Hat in Time. That game's really amazing. I've had this weird type of fiending to play some type of Mario-like game recently for some reason, to the point where I even rebought Mario Odyssey. Yes, I sold it before. Yeah, I know that's taboo. Those are one of the games you don't sell on your Switch, but I did sell it and I bought it back. You know what I'm saying? So I repented. But yeah, A Hat in Time is really amazing. The game starts off kind of weird at first for me, as far as trying to get used to it. Because the last game I played like that was Mario, and that game's kind of like Mario a little bit. I don't know if you played that before, DT, or not.
A Hat in Time.
Yeah.
I've been keeping. Well, you finish first, and I'll jump in.
Okay, but yeah. But yeah, it's a really fun game. You get these cool little hats, you know what I'm saying, that you can use to switch between different abilities, kind of like Mario's abilities. The main one I use is the running hat, because it allows you, or the sprint hat, because it allows you to move faster, and the platform is a lot better. But that game's really amazing. Like I said, it starts off a little slowish because you don't know what the hell's going on. When you get into the rhythm of things, it gets a lot more fun. It reminds me more of Sunshine, which is weird, and it's like 64 Mario, but without the FLUDD. So like, imagine if you're playing Mario Sunshine but didn't have FLUDD or whatever. It kind of reminds me of that, because they have a lot of things from that game. Other than that, the only other thing I've been doing is like I said, I rebought Mario Odyssey, so I do plan to play that game again. And yeah, that's about it on my side for right now. But I'll go ahead and let you get into what you've been up to.
Okay, well, real quick, as far as A Hat in Time, I do remember seeing it when it was in early access, like seeing gameplay videos and stuff. And the style at the time definitely reminded me of Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, and that might have been like a big inspiration. And then I was glad to see that the game actually released, but I never actually bought it myself during that entire time. Little did I know that they would eventually announce that they're going to bring the game to Nintendo Switch. So that's kind of what I've been waiting for with like that and 50 other games, where it's like, all right, that Nintendo Switch announcement is just going to be around the corner any second now. And lo and behold, it just keeps happening, and it keeps paying off. So
I just hope that A Hat in Time runs well on the Switch, because I've actually noticed that game eats up a lot of my my GPU. I was surprised. I didn't think a game, because that game doesn't look like it should do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I play like Soul Calibur 6 and shit on there with all these high texture graphics. And when I play A Hat in Time, I can't even stream that game and play it at the same time without lowering the quality of the game. And I have a gaming laptop, you know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. So I'm hoping that the game can run well on the Switch, rather docked or not docked, because like I said, it eats up a lot of GPU. But with the Switch basically being a dedicated GPU machine, because it's made for video games, aside from my laptop where I'm multitasking different things at one time, and I think it should be fine, I'm thinking. So
yeah, from the news I've heard so far, they said that I think undocked, and I think maybe even docked, it's going to run at like 720p, so it's going to be a little bit fuzzy, and then a slightly lower frame rate of, I think, 30 frames per second instead of 60 frames per second. But yeah, I think if one of the things they might have had trouble with, but I can't officially confirm, is that they may not have optimized the game as well as they probably could have, and that's probably why it would even lag on a gaming PC. And that's also why it's kind of taken a little while for it to come to Switch.
That
But
makes sense now.
if it's a good game though, from what I've heard. So I think with enough work and maybe if they like bring in the right kind of group, they'll make it perfect.
Yeah, that
But
game
yeah,
is freaking amazing, dude. I must say. Like, I've actually gotten pretty addicted, and I found myself getting stuck pretty often too because it's rather challenging. Not gonna spoil anything, but they actually have like a haunted house stage, and it's actually legit scary as hell for me. Like, I didn't play like Resident Evil or other haunted games like that, but that stage would kind of spook me a little bit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of jump scares and stuff. So, like, I look
yeah.
forward to that game. I look forward to going back through Mario Odyssey again because I think hasn't it been a year since it's been out?
It came out 2017 October, so about a year and a half.
Okay, yeah. So it's gonna be cool playing this game again, starting off fresh. I've been bragging to everybody that I beat the game and collected all the stars. I didn't, so I still got a lot of work to do. I'm thinking of starting over though. I just want to do the story over again for some reason.
Yeah,
So I think I may just go back through that. I'll probably stream that. Tune in to LoXus underscore TV at Twitch to tune in. No, but yeah, I want to do that. I still need to beat Mega Man Battle Network. I'm at the end of the first one. It's weird after playing Mega Man Battle Network again because I played 3 recently. You know, because I went and played 1 and 2 off stream before I started streaming. Like in general, and going back and actually playing Mega Man Battle Network 1, I see why people don't like that one as much as the other ones. Like, I don't know if you knew that, but a lot of people don't like Mega Man Battle Network 1 like that, and I can see why. It's a very limited, and you know, and if you compare to all the cool power ups you get in the later games. It just doesn't hold up as well. But I still like it for what it is. You know, I understand that, you know, it's the first Mega Man game, so it's going to be a little slow, but I like it though.
yeah, yeah. Man, I wish they would just release like a Mega Man Battle Network collection, just get it out the way.
Oh my gosh, if they could do. Oh, speaking of which, off topic, I gotta say that music you put in that other for our outro, so good, man. That joke was
Yeah,
so good. Like I literally almost teared up, dude. Like that joke was beautiful. Like the song is so beautiful. But anyways, yeah, man, they should definitely release a collection for that because we've already got Mega Man X and Classic. We had Mega Man Zero collection, which I think they should re-release, but they had that on the DS, and then they could come out with you know, with the Mega Man Battle Network collection. I think that'll make a lot of people happy.
yeah. And best of all, too, is like the entire series, save for like Double Team, which I think still released on the Game Boy Advance, so it's set up for a single screen. But then
Yeah.
also Network Transmission was also a single screen game, so there's not really much excuse at all.
Right. Yeah, that's it. They decided to put that game in there. You know, fun fact, I actually didn't know that game was made before Mega Man Battle Network 2. Like I thought that game came out after Battle Network 2, maybe during 3, and they decided to like release it and make the story in between the two. But Transmission actually came out in between the two of those games. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's weird because it seems so advanced, at least to have taken place after 2. But yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. Well, after 1,
But
but yeah.
yeah, after 1, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what I've been up to the past couple weeks, on a non-game related note, I've been kind of trying to step up my job hunt stuff because the
Okay,
current
okay.
part-time job I've been holding is kind of just getting a little bit, admittedly old, but also, 28 years old, not getting any younger. I gotta step it up. So whether it's
Come
giving up
on,
on my
step it up.
dreams and getting, a quote unquote regular job or trying to continue pushing the art job, one of the two needs to happen sooner or later. But speaking of art, though, I recently picked up a refurbished iPad Pro, second generation, because I currently, like, my regular work that I do is on a Mobile Studio Pro Wacom. It's a great device. I love it a lot. I just recently paid it off after 2 years. Um, but like every time I've had like just this one drawing device in the back of my mind, it was always like, what do I do if this thing breaks down? What will I draw on to continue making money if this thing that I currently have breaks down and I can't make money off of that? So I figured like an iPad Pro would be good for additional work. It'd be like a digital sketchbook so I could keep drawing in my free time because I've kind of dropped the ball on that. Like if I'm not working on commissions, I don't feel like I'm doing much work at all. And that's not how you grow as an artist. Like I feel like I'm getting rusty because if the only commissions I'm doing is kind of safe work anyway, then I'm not growing, I'm not experimenting in that kind of stuff. So
On
um
that topic, I was gonna say that I'm actually kind of I'm usually really against people buying tablets. I mean, I got one at one point, but it's like if you already have a phone why the hell are you getting a tablet device? But in your case, with you being an artist, I completely support that, because especially in your case with all the editing you had to do and the drawing you had to do, and like, and you're working on social media to get your stuff out, I feel like a tablet makes sense for you, but not for the average dude. It's just like, I just want a tablet just because I just want one, like it's. But I completely support your endeavor with that. So
I appreciate it. And I can definitely agree with you that, like, and hopefully this doesn't come back and bite me in the butt as I'm doing the job hunting, but yeah, for the average person, there's not really a huge reason to have a tablet. Like, unless you're working with a store or company that like uses it as like a tool, unless you have a child who you just don't want them on like a full access computer. So you load up like YouTube Kids or Android Kids or Apple Kids or whatever kind of thing that they don't have full access to everything. That makes sense too. But yeah, I was trying to like mess around with whatever other stuff I could do with it. Like, I downloaded games and was like, these games aren't bad, but I have a Switch. I have a PlayStation 4. I have a 3DS. I don't have much use for these mobile games that aren't as deep, or like, I don't like reaching across the screen to hit a bunch of things because it's just so wide, versus like a Switch screen, which is like 6 inches, or a 3DS screen, which is like 2 inches. So
I'm telling
the
my
game
friend,
thing kind of,
because he wants to get. I'm gonna cut you off. My friend's getting a Vita, and I'm like, all right. I need your opinion on this real quick. I'm gonna cut you off, but I need an opinion on this, so I don't seem like I'm just an asshole.
You are, but no.
I mean, yeah.
I'm kidding,
but I mean, I don't want it to be blatantly obvious. But my friend, I'm not gonna mention his name because he's probably gonna watch the podcast. But he decided to ask me if it'd be a good idea if he got a portable device. That's to beat around the bush. Initially, he was talking about a Switch, and I'm like, okay, a Switch makes sense. The newest system out, a lot of good games on it, a lot of games coming to it, multiplayer. I have it, his wife has it. It makes sense. But he was just using that as an example, I guess, to see if I think it would be smart of him to get a portable device at a high price. What he wanted to actually get was a flipping PS Vita. And I'm like, you want a PS Vita now? And then he's like, yeah, because, I can do the whole remote play thing. That'd be fun and cool and snazzy, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, dude, like, the Vita is like super dead. Don't, like, if you're not going to play anime RPGs on that thing and a lot of weeb ass games, you probably shouldn't get it, honestly. Like, even my roommate, he has a Vita.
Yeah, essentially,
he mostly plays like Clue games and anime games.
He plays what games?
He mostly plays like Clues games. Like I said, Clues games. Like mystery games. And he'll play like anime games or whatever. What were you about to say?
He playing that Nancy Drew. Yeah, he playing that. He playing that I Spy. No, I'm kidding.
No, not that game. What game?
But
that was fun. It was some kind of anime game that's like a mystery game or something. But
I know the kind of games you're talking about. I think one is like, I think 999 is one of them.
Yeah.
I forgot the other name of the title, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. If he has the money and he's not hurting for, if he has the money, I would kind of say who cares. From a, I guess, retro perspective, the Vita is no longer in production, so there's going to be less and less of them in the world as time goes on. So, like, if he wants a piece of gaming history, that may not hurt to have it. I don't know how long Sony's going to keep supporting their stuff on their store, but I don't think they've even removed PS3 games from their store. The remote play thing's kind of a decent idea, but you have to have a really good internet Wi-Fi connection. So that's another thing too. And then there's also PlayStation Now, which you can kind of do the same thing on most devices as long as you have a PlayStation controller. Right. It's not the worst buy he can make, but there's definitely better uses of that money in this moment, especially if like he wants new games and wants to play with people. He'd be better off getting a Switch than a Vita.
That's what I'm saying, because he's gonna pay like almost $200+.
But again, it's kind of like how I almost went out of my way to buy a Rob, like a robot operating buddy for the NES. It's like, I'm not going to use this much, but it's a cool thing to have. It's like how I still want a Virtual Boy. It definitely doesn't have support, but it's a piece of gaming history that would be cool to own. And it seems like LoXus just got disconnected, so I'm going to vamp a little bit until he gets reconnected. So how you kids doing today? The sun's out. It's probably cold outside. Despite it being spring, it's still pretty cold here in the U.S., And man, I'm really hoping this thing goes well. LoXus, are you back?
I do agree with everything else you said, though. I didn't think about it the way you explained it.
Oh, wait, hold up a second, LoXus. I think did you realize you lost connection?
Did I realize what?
Hello?
Hello?
So yeah, we appear to be experiencing some technical difficulties. I'm going to stop the recording and then we'll jump back in a moment. So see you guys in a few. All right, so we're back. There was slight technical difficulties. Hopefully this all comes back together so seamlessly that you wouldn't have known there was even an issue unless I actually said something. So
you just did.
So continuing off of the thing, I don't see anything too wrong with getting the Vita if he can afford it. But if there's a better use of the money now, it would be buying a Nintendo Switch, or maybe waiting until at least E3 to see if Nintendo actually says one thing or the other about the rumored revision that may or may not happen.
Because that is probably going to be a thing, though. Nintendo are probably going to get the Switch Plus or the Switch SP or the Switch DS or some shit. There's going to be
the current rumor is that there's going to be 2 revisions possibly, where there's going to be one directed for kids, where it won't be able to do the full thing, like possibly no way to like plug it into a dock, that the Joy-Cons will be connected to the screen so you can't like pop off the Joy-Cons. Like it'll pretty much be a 2DS version of it, is the current rumor.
Ooh, that's not bad actually, because I know a lot of people would rather just have it as a handheld system. And this particular console / hand, I like it. You know what I'm saying? Like even today I was playing I'm getting to Tetris later. But I was playing Tetris while I was taking calls and stuff like that. And it was interesting. I haven't played a handheld more in a while, and I really appreciated it. But it's like I don't ever feel the need to take my Switch with me outside of my home because it's kind of big. And even though you can break it apart and put it in a case, it's not like how I could at least put my DS in my pocket. It's hard to do that with a Switch unless you detach everything, and you risk, getting your screen messed up in the process. So it's like, if this new thing that they're talking about is a little smaller and easier to carry, I think that's absolutely genius because, now you have it's basically just a full-on handheld console. So, and it should be cheaper, I would think, without the whole dock and everything else that comes with it.
Yeah, ideally it would be cheaper. It'd be easier to take around. There's definitely a market for it. And because you can tie one account to multiple systems, then like it kind of helps to justify it too, where it's like, here's my to-go Switch and here's my home Switch, or here's my vacation Switch and here's my at-school Switch. And it just works that easily.
Are you going to get it?
Probably not that version if it exists. I'd probably get the other version only because, like, I wouldn't want to have too many Switch. Well, then again, I have so many 3DSs. Exactly. The other side of it is that the other rumor is that there's going to be a Switch Pro in a way where it'll be a little bit stronger. It'll run a little bit faster. It won't be like PS4 or Xbox One levels of power, but it'll be like maybe a stopgap between what the Switch is now and what the PS4 or Xbox One is. So,
interesting.
And again, this is all just a rumor. So I don't want to say like it's confirmed, because then when Nintendo does come around and say, you know what, we're making a 3DS 2.5 DXL, which is totally not a Switch and supports completely different games.
Deluxe edition versus
Capcom. So, that's the current rumor at the moment. Hard to say what's going to go on, but I would say that if you're in the market for a Switch at this moment and you want to get the best version, maybe wait to see what happens after E3. And if nothing happens by then turn around and go, well, I say this, but then they did the thing with the DS to the 3DS XL, or the 3DS to 3DS XL, because they didn't announce the 3.
Or how about all the different 3D? How about all the different DSs?
Yeah, but I mean, the 3DS XL was the worst one that happened because Nintendo was saying we have nothing to announce at this time. E3 came and went, and like 2 weeks later, after E3, during a Nintendo Direct, they said we are proud to announce the Nintendo 3DS XL, and people were like, Nintendo, what the actual flip? Like, I just bought a 3DS because you guys didn't say anything at E3, and you're going to bring this in?
Yeah, they have a bad habit of kind of sweeping us under the rug when it comes to that stuff. But I definitely like the idea of a Switch Pro. I I don't know. I've been on the. I never really liked the whole dealy of here's a console and here's a better version of that same console you just spent money on. Especially when you're a kid, you don't have money like that. You want to play your games in better quality, and you want them to play a little better than they do. So it's weird. I probably would get it more than likely if they come out with it, because I mean, why not? I wouldn't mind playing my games in the best quality possible. But it's like at the same time, I'm wondering if I really need to do that, because Nintendo don't usually make their games to be high powered like that anyway. So it's not like I'm going to be trying to play Kingdom Hearts 3 at like 60 frames per second on this thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm wondering, like, maybe if it changes the quality of the games when it's undocked and it looks even better than it does, then I think in that case, that'd be like very visually appealing.
Yeah. I mean, it would make a lot more sense, and I'm going to get into it with Labo VR a little bit down the road. But yeah, like the Switch is already 2 years old. It could benefit from some upgrades, especially to try to play a little catch up so it can get some of the games it's still missing out on. But I mean, if I was a kid at this moment and I owned a Switch, and then they announced like a Switch Pro, as much as I would want it, I wouldn't really be that upset, because like, just like with the DSi and the new 3DS, the old versions, the OG version, could still play most of the new versions. Like, it missed out on a handful of games, but they weren't like, oh my God, I need this system kind of thing. It was like, you know what, that's fine, I can still play this elsewhere. Like with the new 3DS and new 3DS XL, you had access to Super Nintendo Virtual Console games, but Virtual Console was already available on other Nintendo systems. You missed out on like maybe Xenoblade Chronicles 3DS, but you could still buy that on the Wii and Wii U. So it was kind of like a give and take, but it didn't really. It made certain games run a little bit faster, like Smash Brothers 3DS loaded faster. The Pokemon Sun and Moon didn't chug like it would on an old-fashioned 3DS, so there was some give and take, but you can survive on the older versions.
And dude, like, speaking of Virtual Console, because you rung a bell in my head just now when you said that, I would really like them to finally bring, DS games maybe to the Switch Virtual Console, maybe GameCube games finally. That'd be really nice. Well, I think right now we haven't even had 64 games come over yet to the Switch.
We haven't even had Super Nintendo games, but I understand where people come from with that. I keep feeling to mention that, like, don't get your hopes up on one front, but the other thing too is that as cool as it would be from a fan perspective for them to just release everything at once, I'm pretty convinced Nintendo has a schedule and a plan that they're committing to. And as much as that sucks from a fan perspective, it seems like kind of a good way to min-max like profits and visibility for all their games. So like, despite...
That makes sense, because you don't want to put out like, here's Kid Icarus, but then here's Sonic Riders. This is like, I'm not buying that game. I'm just going to get Sonic Riders. I see what you mean.
Yeah, so that's why I think like they're kind of doing a slow burn approach, which kind of sucks considering that they have full libraries of Virtual Console from past like 2-3 generations ago. But again, I don't quite blame Nintendo for wanting to do this, but I know it's not a good enough reason for the fans who want to go, oh, that's anti-consumer this and anti-consumer that. Like, what are you going to do? It's business versus consumer. But like, how many more times can you play Kid Icarus or Super Mario Brothers 2 or Super Mario Brothers 1 or Metroid? Like, and that goes also to another concern / issue is like, what games should be remade and what games should just be re-released. And when you...
Ooh.
What's up?
Ooh, dude, I just thought about something. Picture this. What if... now hear me out now. What if every year they change up... I know that's drastic, but just what if every year they change? Because we got that little Nintendo Entertainment System thing where we get all those games for free.
Yeah.
Because we're part of the whole Nintendo. What if they come out with like different console, different console virtual thingies like that? So like right now we have the NES. Imagine if next year we have like a full Super Nintendo library, like for free, and then the next time we get like a full 64 library for free. Or like not the full, one, but maybe they'll come out with certain games that we can play for free since we're subscribed to them. Yeah. Like, what if they did that? That'd be dope, dude.
I mean, I always figured that was the plan. And like, it's easier to go forward than it is to go backwards or mix it up. So like, they start out with NES because like that's the simplest thing. They can see how many people jump on board. they can make more money from subscriptions. And then once they start slowing down and trickling on NES games, then that's when they're going to start introducing Super Nintendo games. And then once that starts trickling, then they'll start introducing N64 games and GameCube games. And that's one idea. But then the other thing is like with the existence of things like Luigi's Mansion for 3DS, which is pretty much a remake of the GameCube game, there's a certain time and window where it goes from, do we just re-release these games to where do we just remake these games for modern time? And I think they can get away with re-releasing Super Nintendo games, maybe some classic N64 games, but by that point, like, I would rather Super Mario 64 with Mario Odyssey graphics, or well, we're not going to be seeing Melee, let's just be honest, for a little while.
Dude, I just freaking, oh my gosh, not even Melee, like, imagine playing Mario 64 with Mario Odyssey graphics, dude. Like, they might as well do that. This is the age of bringing back retro games or older games and HDing them the hell up. Dude, imagine that game and freaking, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would be so awesome.
Like, because they have...
And then add in some extra stuff too, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine Mario 64 with Mario Kart 8 graphics.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, man.
But like, yeah, like we could argue that Super Mario 64 DS was the remake of Mario 64, but some people would consider it a downgrade due to the controls, but an upgrade due to what you can do. But is it even really a remake when you're doing different stuff? Like there's 150 stars instead of 120 stars.
Exactly. Oh, on a side note, I just saw a tweet from Reggie on Twitter. He has like, I didn't know he had a gigantic me head.
Yeah, he did that, I think, a couple years back. I think either late in the Wii's life or early in the Wii U's life. They were doing some kind of marketing thing, I think at a ski resort, and they just had a bunch of me heads just like snowboarding down a slope and stuff. I wish I could find the video.
Dude, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
yes, dude, that looks so awesome. Holy crap. Yeah. And then, I forgot to mention earlier, as far as things I plan to do in the future too, I'm going to MomoCon. I've been to MomoCon in like, dang, man, it's been like 4 or 5 years. It ain't been that long, but it's been a minute. It's been maybe like 3 years since I've been. 4, because I went the first year Smash Bros. 4 came out. So, yeah, it's been like 4 years. But, yeah, I'm going. Sonic Master's coming down for it. So he's going to be staying at my crib for the weekend. And it's going to be pretty cool. We plan on entering doubles for Smash Brothers. So, of course, my Discord or my followers on Twitch are hype about that because they've been wanting me to go to a tournament for a while. Just to see how I compete against top players. Singles is free, but I'm not going to enter singles because there's going to be way too many entrants, dude. Like, these Smash Bros. Ultimate tournaments, dude, the locals get like 500 freaking participants, dude. And this is a major. MomoCon's a major as far as Smash Bros. Tournaments go now. Like, Nairo and a lot of top players come down now. So there's going to be probably almost 1,000 people, I'm going to guess, probably going into this thing. And I'm not going to be at MomoCon the entire weekend playing Smash. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to enjoy it, especially with it costing almost $80 for a ticket. Yeah. But, I'm trying to enjoy myself too. So doubles, usually the kind of thing they don't really highlight as much. So hopefully that'd be a one-day event and I can just bounce after that, hopefully. Worst case scenario, I'm pretty sure like grand finals or whatever, top 8 will probably be like early morning Saturday for that. So I can just get that out the way. But that's just a tidbit I want to throw in there.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, yeah, I think the last time you went was the last time I was there. Because remember, I took part in that Smash 4 tournament and came in the top 8, baby. But
you did come in top 8, dude. Yeah. I was talking to my friend yesterday about that. I was like, dude, I went there because D put me in this little Fayetteville Smash group or whatever, community group or whatever on Discord, and I was talking about how I went there, and I was like, what was pretty dope is one of my friends made top 8. I think you made top 8. I can't remember. I do remember you going there on Sunday. Dude, that's freaking sick, by the way. You know how big of an accomplishment that is?
And I think, it was also within the first year of Smash, too. So
that doesn't matter. That doesn't
but
matter.
I think it was
that doesn't matter.
The same year that Splatoon came out, because I specifically remember, like, right after the tournament ended, I didn't think I was going to get any money. Then they said, like, hey, the people who just did their matches come over here. Like, hey, here's your money. I only got like $60, I think, but I was like, you know what? I'm using this for Splatoon. And then I got my butt whooping Splatoon, like, I'm going back to Smash. No.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Smash came out before Splatoon? No,
Yes,
it
it did.
didn't.
It didn't.
No.
Yeah,
No.
because wait, yeah,
No. Wait, yes it did. Yes it did. Yes it did. Yes it did. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. I remember now. Because I remember I got into Splatoon after I joined my Smash group, my crew that I'm in currently, Salt Gaming. Shout out to Salt Gaming, by the way. Check out our tournaments. But anyways, yeah. Um, wow. Can't believe like it's so easy to get that mixed up. I'm so thrown off because Mario Kart came out so early before Smash came. One of those games came out before Smash came out. I think it was Mario Kart.
yeah,
I want to say it was Mario
yeah.
Kart.
Mario Kart came out before Smash. Smash came out before Splatoon. Smash came out that fall of I think 2014. I think Splatoon came out spring/summer of 2015.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I don't know why I thought Splatoon came out first. I'm tripping. I'm old,
yeah.
man.
I mean, you're younger than me, so what's that say about me?
But only a year, dude. That's
Yeah,
nothing.
that's like a decade. Oh yeah, but to wrap up the things I've been through, because yeah, we need to move on to like I guess news too. Is that I can skip over DMC5. Like people know it's a good game, it's a fun game. I'm still picking it up. Whatever. It's a great game. It makes me want Bayonetta cross Devil May Cry, and I know that's never going to happen unless Capcom says, "Hey, Platinum, we're sorry for what happened with Clover. Let's get back together and make this thing happen."
Holy crap.
Literally. So I picked up Trials Rising for the Nintendo Switch. You know, it's pretty much a AAA version of those Flash games where you're riding a bike up and down hills and you're trying to like get the fastest time and like just go, you know, those type of games, right?
Oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, I've had one like that. Except on the one I played, it was like I think you probably played it. I think everybody's played it as a kid. It's like the one where you like have to go off ledges and you got to be careful if you go too far over, you'll like flip and like you just lose or whatever. Like yeah, kind of like Excite Bike a little
Yeah,
bit.
so that's exactly what these games are. And it's I've always tried to figure why these games are so interesting to play. And I think it's just kind of like a OCD/Zen kind of thing. Is that if you get a good flow, you're just like going up and down these hills and slopes, trying to get the fastest time, pulling off these tricks, doing these flips. But yeah, it's a fun game in general. If it's not playing on the Switch isn't the best version, but it is portable, and portable to me will usually beat high graphics. But if it was one of the two, I would probably recommend getting it on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One because 60 frames per second. But if you want portability, Switch always wins out. Moving on from that, I just started playing World of Final Fantasy Maxima for the Nintendo Switch. Once again, not as good looking as a PlayStation 4 version. It's also funny that this continues my trend of avoiding playing Final Fantasy games for some reason. Like, I did play Final Fantasy 3, didn't beat that. I started Final Fantasy 7 some years ago, didn't beat that, but I re-downloaded that to Switch. I started Final Fantasy 15, never beaten that. I saw the cutscene of Final Fantasy 12, never even got to play in that. So, that's just the habit. But Maxima, what's the best way to explain it? I guess it's essentially like Pokemon Final Fantasy, but it's not really because it's hard to fully explain the full gameplay without like getting too deep into it. But I would just say it has a lot of heart. And the kind of people out there who prefers like Japanese dubs over English dubs or like subs over dubs would really hate me for it because like I really do enjoy the English dialogue of the game. As stupid and cringy and dumb as it is, I feel like that's where the heart comes from, at least from my enjoyment so far.
Right, I can feel that because I haven't actually played a Final Fantasy. On the top of Final Fantasy, I never beat one either. I played 3, got to Medusa. That's all I remember. I remember getting turned to stone and me getting pissed off, and I stopped playing that fucking game.
Yeah.
And I had 15, got bored, and I don't know. 15 just came out at the wrong time. I feel like if I had 15 now, I'd probably play it now and probably enjoy it. But during the time when I tried to play it, it just wasn't flowing with me too well. I forgot to mention. I wanted to say this before we go on to news. Tetris is evil. This game is mean.
Yeah.
I'm loving it though. I feel like myself getting better. I'm so bad at puzzle games. I haven't played before this. The last puzzle game I played was Puyo Pop Fever that you let me borrow.
Oh yeah.
During whatever the hell age we were young. That was the last one I played, and I played this, and it was just like this is a hell of a journey. I tell you that much. Like you had to learn how to play this game quick. Like if you don't know how to play Tetris, play this one. Your ass is gonna learn quick how to flip those blocks fast enough. I think the highest I got was like 32, and I think I only got that high because I think everybody's decided not to target me that round, so I just was getting away with murder. I think I've been getting consistently like 40s and 60s now. When I'm not getting thrashed at the beginning of the rounds, but I'm improving. I'm noticing myself getting faster and more confident with my blocks. My only thing that's throwing me off right now is definitely like not losing faith when I accidentally put a piece down wrong. Because I know, if you put something down wrong and there's holes, you have to hurry up and fix that shit pronto. But like the moment I see that, my mind is already like, oh, I'm fucked. I lose.
Yeah.
As soon as I see that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For those who don't know, he's talking about Tetris 99 on the Nintendo Switch Online, the free-to-play game.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, there are some cool tips worth at least knowing the basic of, which is like try to do more than one line of Tetrises, unless like you gotta hurry and clear stuff, because 2 lines gets you like sends garbage to other people. Preferably 5 lines is a Tetris, which sends the maximum number
4.
4?
Yeah.
I thought 5.
4 lines of Tetris. I got 4 lines and I got a Tetris.
Maybe it's been a while since I played then. But yeah, pretty much the more lines that you send out, the more garbage you send to other people. The more badges you have from KOing other people, the more garbage you can send that way too, along with the more garbage you can clear if it's coming your way too. So also make sure you're taking advantage of the targeting system. I still don't know the full guaranteed way to like get the KOs aside from when you have a bunch of Tetrises ready to go lined up. Then like you target the people who are close to being KO'd and then just start sending all of that towards them, and hopefully that'll take them out.
See, I didn't know that. I I just looked it up. It is 4 lines for Tetris, but I actually didn't know that it takes 2 lines to send garbage, because I thought that would explain why when I'm trying to clear, like when people throw shit at you and I'm trying to like get rid of it, I'll be trying to hurry up and clear 1 line at a time. Like, why isn't it going away?
Yeah. Well, I think 1 line clears garbage, but 2 lines sends garbage. So if you are like kind of desperately trying to like get out of a tight spot, it doesn't hurt to do 1 line at a time. But if you can do more, you'll benefit a whole lot more too.
How come sometimes when I see the blocks glowing on the side of the screen, how come sometimes like when I'm trying to clear that, it does? Like I swear I'd be clearing like mad lines and this shit still doesn't go away.
I guess
it just like changes colors and shit.
Oh yeah. Well, it depends on, because it only sends so much garbage at once. So like there might be certain blocks glowing, but the other blocks might be gray or whatever color. Again, it's been a while since I played Tetris 99, so it'll never send more than like what you can kind of afford to take on. But according to someone I was playing with earlier, they said you only have like 20 lines in your thing. So like maybe it'll send a maximum of 10, but that'll put you into a lot of trouble. And if you already have like 11 lines, then like 10 will pretty much kill you if it's in the wrong spot. But
that's good to know. I can stop panicking so much then as soon as I see stuff stacked up. I just keep thinking, oh, I'm about to just lose if they keep stacking stuff on me. But I won't stay on the Tetris rant too long, because I know we need to move on to other things. The only last thing too, because I just happened to look on here, I've actually been playing Crazy Taxi again. They have it on sale on Switch for like $8. It's been pretty fun playing that game again, man. It's been fun going back and playing like older games, like as an adult that you play when you were younger, because you're either going to hate it or you're going to like it. Crazy Taxi is still a pretty fun game to pass time or whatever. So
real quick though, Switch or Steam?
Oh, Steam.
Oh, okay. I was like, if it was on Switch, I would have gotten it like 5 days ago, probably. My
bad. We were talking about the Switch, so that was like on my brain.
Getting my hopes up.
Steam. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
But, I'm sorry.
So the last thing on what I've been up to is that I picked up the Nintendo Labo VR kit. Surprisingly, it seems to be one of the most popular kit out of all of them, because it doesn't seem like you can just walk into any store in the US and find one. Like, my best guess is that because of how not great the past 3 kits have sold, that probably explains like why they had such a low stock this time around, which sold out so easily. But
it's literally cardboard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Well, this one isn't just cardboard. It does have like plastic glass piece, which is the visors. But I did take the time to put together like the goggles. I put together the camera piece. What else? And like some side pieces too. Overall, it's definitely fun. It's definitely going to feel more like what's it, a tech demo than like a real game. But I think part of what sold people more is that there's going to be an update coming to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, where you can use like the VR goggles and like play special modes. Like in Mario Odyssey, you can play a special mode, mission mode, like a very small, like 3 stages, but it'll just be cool to see that in VR. With Breath of the Wild, you can play the entire game in VR, but it's going to be like third person VR apparently. I only just loaded up the news, so I need to look into it more. But it looks like, you'll be controlling Link. I almost said Zelda. You'll be controlling Link in like a traditional fashion, but you can like look around the area on your own as you're like, if he's running towards you, you can look to the left and right and see like what's around him, what's behind him. So I'm excited for those to come. I think they said on the 26th. But VR, it's cool. It's a cool budget idea if you don't, or if you can't afford or don't want to get like the higher level ones yet. My only concern is that it's never happened before in other forms of VR, but this one does kind of make me a little motion sick after a while. So I don't know whether it's due to the low resolution or because there's no head strap, I have to hold it up to my face. Like my mind just can't separate that I'm sitting in an area or something. But I'm hoping I can get acclimated to it, because it would suck to pay $80 for an entire kit and I don't have the capacity or the fortitude or whatever to actually play it for longer than like 10 minutes at a time.
Right. That makes sense then in that particular case.
But I can definitely see how with the other VR kits, especially the piano and fishing rod, that wound up getting some updates later on that worked with third-party games and even Mario Kart. So out of all the things out there, I could imagine that the VR is going to work they're going to have Mario Kart functionality a little later down the road. I can bet money on that. I don't know how soon. I won't bet like more than like $1, but I'm almost guaranteed that it's going to be coming sooner or later.
Good old Labo.
Yeah. I mean, I'm loving it. And like, again, because it's sold out, it's either selling really well or there's not a lot of stock out there at this moment. But that pretty much covers what I've been up to. It's kind of been a long tangent, but next week it definitely won't be as much, because all the games I'm currently playing is pretty much what I'm going to be continuing next week, aside from one that we could talk about when we talk about what's coming up and what we're looking forward to. So on to the news, possibly.
Oh, well, I mean, the only big news, well, I don't know any like breaking news, but Sonic Racing is coming out soon. I can't wait to play that. That's going to be really awesome. I want to get on Transformed so I can play that a lot. So that way when I play the new one, I can make my comparisons and stuff like that. Because, there's 2 different ways to approach situations like that. It's like, do you want to play a game that's similar to it but older because it's going to screw you up when you play the new one? Or do you want to not play the old one? And you don't want to play the old one too because you want to go into a fresh? Or do you want to like not play the old one so you go to the new one, it feels fresh? It's like it's in between. But definitely looking forward to that game. That's really the only game in the next couple months that I'm really looking forward to for the most part.
Okay.
Do you know anything that's coming out?
Well, I mean, as far as like news, well, there's one game, I guess we could jump to that before jumping to general news, that I got a few bits of news, but what I'm looking forward to is Cuphead that's coming to Nintendo Switch. Like,
oh, ugly, dude. Oh, I haven't played that game yet.
I've only played a little bit when my brother came to visit, I think last year for Thanksgiving. But yeah, it's been a weird trajectory because I've known about its existence for a while. It finally released for Xbox One, and it was pretty much guaranteed to be an Xbox One exclusive. So like if you wanted to play it, you would have to either buy it on Steam because, Xbox for Windows, or get it on Xbox One. Little did I know that my stubbornness in looking to buy on those systems would actually pay off with it coming to Nintendo Switch. And that's probably still the wildest thing to me, is that this was supposed to be a Microsoft exclusive. Like, you weren't supposed to be able to get it anywhere else. And this coming Thursday, I will be able to play it on my Nintendo Switch.
Well, I mean, it makes sense at this point because the game's been out long enough and they got all the revenue they want. So I guess now they're like, okay, the developers, well, time to spread our wings and get even more money now. So I think they pretty much got the job done now.
And well, that's the thing though, is that like, because if that was the case, like Nintendo could release Bayonetta 2 on any other system at any time, but because they're fitting the bill and they want that exclusive going on, they're going to make sure that Bayonetta 2 and 3 stays on Nintendo systems. Bayonetta 1 is allowed to be on Steam because Sega fit the bill for that. But no, it's kind of a different thing with what Microsoft is going through right now. And I could kind of tell based on how they've been handling their first party games, which there aren't really a lot of, unfortunately, but also how they've been handling their console stuff, is that I think they were kind of looking into the future and seeing like, you know what, as cool as this whole console gig is, we don't really want to be a competitor as much these days. Like, I think the general plan is that they're going to still keep pushing the Xbox One, the Xbox One X. Like, they're not going to need to upgrade those for a while, but they have the entire, like, they have the PC market, like, in their hands. Their only competitor is Apple, which isn't really a gaming company powerful of that level anyway. So they don't really have any real competitors, but because they probably don't want to keep pushing first party consoles and stuff as much as they used to, they're probably looking to team up with Apple, with Google, with Nintendo to get their games onto those systems one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense at this point, especially in their current predicament.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Cuphead myself. I may go ahead and pick that up too if it's not too much money. How much do you think it'll cost?
It's only $20. Well, I don't want to say only $20, but I happen to have like almost $30 on my eShop card, so I just went and preloaded it. So as soon as it releases, I can just start playing it immediately.
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna get that game. I'll probably stream it. Something I plan to do when I stream, I noticed I found the record button on my OBS. So I think I'm gonna start recording certain playthroughs that I do of games so I can start uploading that to YouTube too. I need to quit being lazy and make stream highlights too. That'd be really good.
Yeah. But although when it comes to recording Cuphead, I would recommend at least doing the first stage or two so you can get an idea. Like the game you played Mega Man, so you know about games that kick your butt.
Oh, but I know how hard Cuphead is. I've watched many playthroughs of that game. Boy, is that game bitch.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to play that game, man. I wish you could play it online, but I guess you wouldn't want to play that game in lag. So
yeah, not that kind of game. Like, geez. All right,
I
so
could technically have. Oh my bad. I could have technically got Cuphead by now. Now that I think about it, because I have a computer. But yeah. But anyways.
Yeah. You do more PC gaming than I do, but it's coming to Switch, so no excuses now. So the little bits of news, like we'll try to blast through this too, because like I think we're at like 45 minutes or so. As folks probably know, Reggie recently retired from Nintendo. It's been a fun run.
Reggie. It's been awesome, man.
Since 2004, I think. So yeah, it's a good while. It's like amazing that he actually, like, I think he's only like 50 something too. So he also, funnily enough, he used to be president of I think Pizza Hut. So it was like cool or funny that like he moved from that over to Nintendo. And that's why people kind of thought he was just kind of like another corporate guy. But as time went on, people started to realize like, oh wait, he actually does care about Nintendo and video games. And as you mentioned about his Twitter earlier today, like he's been showing pictures of what he had in his office. Like he has pretty much the entire Amiibo collection. He has like all this memorabilia. Like it's hard to argue that he's not a Nintendo fan on some level. Right.
And I thought it was pretty I just like that Reggie just seems so much of you could just tell he was a genuine like Nintendo fanboy. Like not in fanboy. Okay, let me rephrase that. He's a genuine Nintendo fan, because that could be misinterpreted in different ways. But I feel like I can tell he was genuinely a fan of Nintendo games and just like being a gamer in general. Like he's a prime example that no matter how old you are, you know, you can still love video games and play them junks, you know what I'm saying? So I like that he was representing us, you know, as an adult playing video games and showing that you can still have a life and things of that nature. And just the fact that everyone's sending so much love to him just shows how much of an impact he had on all of us, you know? So I thought Reggie, the whole thing with Reggie was really cool. My favorite moment of Reggie was definitely that clip where he's pressing that button at that table and he's like shaking around and then like those little things are coming out. You know what I'm talking about? Those little emotes or whatever those are.
I need to look back and see. You're not talking about the yokai, possibly, are you?
Maybe that's it, because it's the one where he's pressing his watch. I think he's pressing something.
He's doing the yokai dance, like tapping on his watch.
Yeah, that is freaking hilarious, dude. Oh my goodness, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely represents like a time later on in Nintendo, because like when he did come in, he very much did feel like just another suit. Especially back during the early E3s when they were talking about like their sales projectives and stuff. And I'm so glad they switched from that later on. And I think especially with the help of Iwata, that I think Iwata brought a little bit of fun back to Nintendo from a presentation perspective. Like R.I.P. Iwata, of course, like rest in peace. But like it was rough to accept the fact that Reggie was leaving, but of course all good things must come to an end. I'm glad that he got to leave on top rather than like the closure of a company or getting caught up in some kind of controversy as with so many other people these days. So he put in the work, he did a good job. It's still unbelievable that Nintendo's going to be in the hands of a guy with the last name of actually Bowser. And like part of me feels like that's part of the main reason why he got the job.
Wasn't he already there though?
Yeah, like he was there on another level. I forgot what he was. I think it was like either advertising or finance or something like that. But like I can't. But like Bill Trinin's also been there for a long time. Like there's been a lot of names that like the two people who run Nintendo Minute, they've been there for a while too. But of course, I don't think they put in like the kind of business like business kind of work. They're more like the entertainment, advertising, social media kind of thing. But I don't know. It's just still crazy and funny that Doug Bowser is going to be in charge now. Hopefully, he can build his legacy the right way because so far he hasn't really done a whole lot to get in with people. Like he's kind of let his name do the work right now. But hopefully, you know, he'll be able to show his personality a little later on. He doesn't have to be Reggie. He doesn't have to replace Reggie, but hopefully he can keep the fun and life of Nintendo moving forward.
That's going to be a hard type of mountain to climb because, you know, people have their attachment with Reggie. There's going to immediately be the whole, you're not Reggie. Reggie would have did this kind of comparison. So he's going to have to definitely bring something new to the table that makes us go, oh, you know what? This guy's actually pretty dope, you know, and there's going to be the haters, of course, but he just has to keep it pushing. So sure, he seems like a strong guy. So I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, like it's easier said than done, but like all he has to do is just keep it real. Don't try to emulate Reggie. Don't try to copy what past people have done. Just do fun in your own way. And I think what would be advantageous to him.
My fun's copying Reggie. No,
well, I mean, if you're sincere about it, but I think he's probably really thinking about how he's going to go about it. And I think a genius way, but a little bit on the nose, would be playing the fun villain of Nintendo because his last name is Bowser. So why not try to act like a king around everyone? But I don't think that has a lot of legs, essentially. Yeah.
I'm like,
I was waiting to see if you had any kind of other interjection, but we can move on to the next bit of news. So, how much are you still playing Mario Tennis Aces?
Oh, that game, I don't have that game.
You sold it?
Gone. Oh yeah, man. I didn't look, Davian. All right. I played that game. I got my ass kicked. I played it again. Got my ass kicked some more. Stopped playing it for months. I'm just like, this game's just here. I'm not gonna lie. I thought about buying that game again too. And it's just like, I'm good. I don't know. Something about that game just really pissed me off compared to the other ones. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's like it just wasn't meshing with me.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, it got another update recently. So oddly, and yeah, that's why I was asking. I mean, I'm not asking this like just for my own health. Like, they added for some reason they added like an intro animation to the story mode. So rather than it just being dialogue boxes like it was early on, like you'll see an actual animation of Waluigi and Wario finding that magical racket and Luigi screwing things up as usual. And this would be really cool if I didn't already beat it months ago. But what they also added was a ring shot mode. So like back from Mario Tennis for the GameCube.
Ring shot was awesome.
Yeah, so they added that over to the game. So apparently Mario Tennis Aces is still alive in an updated perspective. I don't know how it's performing as far as like an online community or at least finding people you can play online. I'm tempted to load it up and see what happens, but I'm also kind of afraid like it's either going to be barren or it's just going to be people that are just still kind of BSing their way to the top, but we'll see what happens. Another update's always good. Meanwhile, people who bought Super Mario Party are crying in the corner because when's that coming?
Oh my God. Like, I'm actually kind of tired of these companies doing this whole, let's make a game barren as fuck and then just keep adding stuff to a later thing. That's like, oh, it makes me so mad. I'm so tired of doing that kind of thing. Because, like, granted, okay, maybe I shouldn't have sold my game, whatever. But, like, if they had just put everything in the game, like Bomberman, for instance, like now Bomberman has grown to be a actually solid game, but it took forever with updates for it to get to that point. So it's almost like when you buy a game, like you just have to stick with it no matter how bad it is, because you never know what's gonna happen. I may just end up doing that now. Screw it. I'm not gonna get screwed over like this again.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, like I would, even if it's a game you kind of hate, unless it's like one you absolutely know, like you'll never ever touch again, or it's like it just fills you with rage to just see it on your shelf, I wouldn't really recommend selling any games anymore these days. Especially, I mean, say it like since they have like a better job than like years ago. Like if you can afford not to have to sell them, don't really sell them for multiple reasons. Like one, if you sell them, then you buy it back, then GameStop or whoever is making even more money off of you because like you already sold it back for less, and then you bought it back for more than you sold it back. So yeah, and then like just a collection in general. Like there's a few Switch games I bought that like I loaded up once, I probably will never load again. But when I look at my shelf, I'm like, yeah, good times. But then as I try to get back in more into streaming and let's playing, at least I have something to load back up for shenanigans if I so want to.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
yeah, so Mario Tennis got an update. It probably will continue getting updates. I think it's still getting new characters. I do kind of agree with you that they need to be careful at least of these games as services updates because I don't mind the updates down the road. What I don't really like is that they take so long to update it that like the online community is already dead before all the substantial stuff comes, because then it kind of makes it pointless. And as excited as you might be to play it, like what's the point if there's no one else to play with?
Exactly. And I hate going back to games and then it's like the community is pretty much dead. Under night.
Yeah,
The community of Under Night isn't dead, but it's hard as hell to find matches on that game, man.
yeah. I mean, they were already niche to begin with because it's Under Night.
Which you're
But
not gonna be.
yeah. Talk about a game that all right.
Whoa
So
now.
yeah, I said talk about a game. But moving on though. Nintendo Switch also got an update 8.0. It's more meaty than the past few updates. New user icons. So I think they said Yoshi Woolly World and
What?
another
You got
one.
new icons?
Yeah, you got new icon. Are you loaded up your Switch now?
Right, balloon it up right freaking now. Best believe.
Geez. Did you update your system?
I sure did. I
Okay.
did it this morning. I didn't want sure what that was. Did they put Mega Man on here finally?
No. There's still no Smash Brothers ones yet.
They don't have Daisy.
There's another function they added, which is weird, is a zoom function, and I don't know why, because you can't really play while zooming in at the same time. But what you would do is that you would go into the settings menu, like scroll down to systems, turn on zoom, and so when you press the home button twice, you can zoom in closely. And I don't know why that exists, but it's there. But the coolest part of the update that I've seen so far, there's a few more things, but the coolest thing for me is that you could finally organize the all software section a little bit more than like last played game. So if you go to the all software section, you press the R button, you got options to the games you played the longest, games in alphabetical order, games by publisher, and then last played. So especially when you're trying to hunt down a certain game and like you're like me where you have over 100 tiles on that screen, like alphabetical order comes a long way. Like if I'm curious about like, all right, I really need to put in more time with X game that I put in 0 hours with, putting it into how long you played it, you can scroll down to the bottom and see like, all right, so I need to start playing this game more. So it's not quite folders, but it's definitely a step up from what we've had before, which was like, oh, you haven't played this game in 6 months, but it's also not your recently played game. Time to hunt it down on these 200 tiles, and hopefully you'll find it in the next 5 minutes kind of thing.
Yeah, I see that here. They have like more options here. That's actually pretty dope. Publisher. That's neat.
Yeah. And then, oh yeah, and another cool thing too is like if you ever get tired of the system waking up every time you take it from the AC adapter or whatever, you can actually go into the settings and turn it off so it stays off when you unplug it.
What?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I don't remember where it is exactly, but like usually they'll let you know that there's a new update in the news section, and sometimes they'll tell you like what new stuff is coming in that news section. So we're this far in. I'm hoping the Smash Brothers 3.0 update is right around the corner, but we'll have to see about that.
You know what they should fix? What they need to freaking fix is the fact that if I don't want to use, how do you cut off your Pro Controller? Like when
they
you
don't
don't want to use that?
They don't have something for that yet. Like you have to
Exactly.
go into the menu and desync.
Yeah, that's stupid. I end up having to put it to. I just put it to sleep, and then quickly by pressing the button, I just cut it back on, and then you just use the remote I want to use. But that's still really obnoxious. Also, we need come on, man, like bring some designs to the menu. Like it's so barren.
I mean, it'll come eventually, but I think that what they want to make sure of, at least on the surface, is that one thing they bragged about early on is how fast the menu is. So despite its minimalism, it doesn't take long to load at all. Like it doesn't take anything to load at all.
That is a good point. It is a really snappy menu. It moves quickly. It doesn't drop any frames or anything. So I guess that's a good point. But
But I do also understand the personalization side of things. So, I mean, if the 3DS could get themes eventually, I don't think it even had themes for the first 2 years. But like when it comes to things people are asking for, it'll all come in due time. Like, and I don't know. I think maybe it's because of my stupid adult mind at this point. But like, if it doesn't come, who cares? There's like good games to still play. You can play online, that kind of stuff. Like, do you really want to talk with random kids? But I can't hate because I know people have their own taste and their own style. So it'll come eventually. Like apparently all the Joy-Cons that have the home button should like do have a blue light ring, but they've yet to activate that yet. So
yeah, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
yeah, that apparently like some people that were able to like hack their controllers and stuff were able to make it light up. So it clearly exists. Maybe plans changed since then. Maybe they wanted to put in a menu system and messaging system and change their mind there, but we're all sitting on something that no one really, well, not no one, few people really knows exists aside from the people who constantly bring it up.
I
But
do like how the Pro controller lights up when you use it on a PC. It
yeah,
gets like a
wait, how does
blue
it light
ring.
up?
Like it lights, it gets the blue ring around the home button. I like how
Oh,
it
okay,
does that.
yeah. So hopefully the Switch update will come soon. Like people usually want things now, and they don't care what the reason or excuse is. But that
I want
it's
it
hard to say.
now.
It's hard to say it's just business, but that's just kind of what it is. It's like, yes, you want certain things now. Sometimes it is just like, screw business, I just want it now. Sometimes it really is like, you don't know how much or how little you actually want this thing that you're asking for. And that can be very true sometimes. Like, from an artist's perspective, you could ask the general question like, hey, who would be interested in like these type of commissions if I offered it? And you might get like 50 people saying, yes, I would love something like that. When you officially open for commissions, though, you only get like 3 of those people, while 10 of them go, oh man, I would sure love to jump on board if I had money right now. Then why did you say yes, you son of a gun?
Son of a gun!
Mm. So yeah, that's the rough thing on that front. But yeah, so the last bit of news. We went through all the other stuff. The last bit of news is that apparently Capcom is going to be releasing in October a plug and play arcade system. And or at least like, you know, that the parts that you hold the stick and press the buttons, they have something like that. It's designed in the shape that says the word Capcom, and it's set up to 2 players. You can plug via HDMI. It apparently has Wi-Fi in it to update to leaderboards and stuff, which that's really cool, but also really weird. And it comes with 16 games. And let me
And
see
what
if
is
I
this
can.
again?
It's Capcom Home Arcade.
That's pretty freaking sick. I'm gonna look that up too. Hold on, Capcom Home Arcade.
Yeah, scrolling down. So yeah, it's a plug and play thing, which kind of like
Wow.
killed my hype for it a little bit, only because you guys know about those plug and play things. It's like usually like the composite cables, like very cheap looking stuff. But apparently Capcom's going all in. So
This is ugly, but cool. It's literally like the fucking Capcom logo.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the weird thing is like it doesn't seem like it's that great of a design, and then especially considering like the design itself, you have to have like some kind of table tall enough to either stand at or sit, put your legs under, but like the other person has to sit or stand by you too.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like an arcade. It's supposed to be like because there's been fight sticks that's been created to kind of beat something like this to like a 2-player fight stick. Because I got a fight stick now next to me, but mine is just for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
That's
that's tradition
interesting.
these days. But
Yeah.
yeah, the home arcade, it's coming in October. I was trying to do the math. I might need to double check, but currently on their Capcom Europe website, it's going to be, wait for it,
Oh,
229 euros.
how much is that
So
in American dollars?
I think that's going to be about $250.
Oh my gosh! But
But
like,
like
yeah.
the rough thing is, I mean, it's clearly 200 as it currently stands. 229 euros is 200 rounding up 259 American dollars.
That's actually not too bad because I'm looking at the prices of a typical arcade machine, and those are like $200 to $300. That's not. I can buy an arcade cabinet. Wow, I have enough money. Wow, it's only $200, $300. I could buy an arcade cabinet, and put it in my crib. All right, but
Well, it
anyways,
depends. It
huh?
depends what kind of games are on that arcade cabinet. Because the thing you might be looking at may just be either one game or
It
a
is
bunch
one
of
game.
garbage game. Yeah.
It's one game. Like this is like a Street Fighter 2 arcade or something. But
Oh,
like, huh?
shoot. I actually would not recommend that personally.
Why?
According to reviews, like it's kind of like budget. It's like smaller than a traditional cabinet size. Like especially when,
Oh,
yeah, that's why it's so cheap.
I know
You
what you're
gotta,
talking about.
yeah, like you've probably seen them in a couple WalMarts and stuff.
Yeah, I know
Like
what you're talking about.
it's cool for the novelty. It's not quite recommended for the long term. Essentially, like you're better off getting an actual Street Fighter cabinet.
Bro, if I get a house, I'm buying a DDR arcade machine.
Yeah,
Free.
I would
Free.
love to get one of those too.
Yeah, man.
Like,
Come over and we can freaking play it junk.
yeah, but although when we hit 40, we'll never be able to play it because we'll be too old.
That's not true. You're only as old as you feel.
My hip. But so to wrap it up, at least the reason why the whole Capcom Home Arcade is going to be pretty expensive is because like they're going all in with the quality of this stuff. Like I'm seeing words that I've heard of that I don't understand, like featuring a pair of competition class Sanwa JLFTP Y8YT sticks with an 8-way GTY directional gates and OBSF buttons for the finest precision, response times, and durability. Like
It's funny they're saying all this, and the people that actually own fight sticks are gonna look at the thing and say, "This thing's a piece of crap." They tried to, they tried to freaking make this sound so good, and then it turns out they probably using like prehistoric like fight stick technology, but it just sounds cool the way they're saying it. No, I'm joking though, but I'm sure it'll probably be cool.
yeah, I mean, like the way it sounds is like it sounds like it's going to be high quality, but the reason why they're doing this description is for the people that are into those kind of fight sticks. Like if it was just for like the average Joe or someone like me who doesn't really own a regular fight stick, even though I plan to buy one later this month. I'll get into that a little later. That
Why?
like this kind of just well, I saw like for sale $50 at GameStop. Might as well just have one,
Oh, you
especially
get
if
one of those small ones.
yeah, like it's gonna be like a Hori mini one, but like I kind of want to get back into Fighter Z, and I might try to pick up other stuff, and it just wouldn't hurt to like just have another piece of gaming equipment to just try to get into.
It'll be a lot.
Um,
It's definitely. I know you're trying to get back to the point, but I know it's definitely a lot. It's definitely feels better to me playing fighting games on a fight stick. To me, rather
yeah,
than a controller, and you don't have to worry about breaking your controller playing games. But go ahead.
yeah, I'll have to see how it goes because like I've always had the preference of joysticks, but I know like I guess it's all about putting in the time and like the inputs. Like you just kind of get used to it. It's just a whole nother front to get used to. So I'll have to see how that goes. But to wrap up, before we try to wrap up this podcast, because it is going on a little more than an hour, 16 games coming to the Capcom arcade. 1944, that's a shmup. Alien versus Predator. I forget whether that's a beat 'em up or whatever. Armored Warriors, Capcom Sports Club, Captain Commando, that's also a classic. Cyberbots, Darkstalkers, which we rarely ever see that
Holy
often.
crap, dude! Yeah, I never really got to play that game.
Echo Fighters, Final Fights, Ghost and Ghouls, Giga
Echo
Wing.
Fighters. So we got Lucina and them in there.
I didn't even think about that, but maybe.
Daisy in there, man. What's good?
This is Luigi. Oh, wait, but he's not an Echo Fighter, even though he might be. Or even what's it, Simon and Richter? But who's the real Echo Fighter of those two?
They'll just be on like one freaking one. They'll just be palace swaps, dude.
It's such a mess. Also, they're Konami, so that's also would make things complicated. But Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, which I think is the latest version, not counting the one that came to Switch the other year. Mega Man Power Battle is coming to this thing. Some game called Pro Gear. They got Strider and then Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. So, actually, one interesting thing that was mentioned is that this will come preloaded with those 16 games, but that doesn't quite say one way or the other if it could potentially update with other games later on.
That is true. I'm sure somebody's gonna find a way to mod that thing and put more stuff on it, like they did with the with all the Nintendo minis that they came out with.
Yeah, like it's got like a USB port, HDMI port to TV, a power port, and a button. But yeah, with that USB, and then it also having Wi-Fi inside.
I'm mad you said it like that, and a button.
Yeah, I
All
mean,
this
just
stuff, all these connectors, and then he's like, "Yeah, a button." That man has guns, chainsaws, and a button.
it's got to turn on one way or the other, you know. But so yeah, this is something I'm kind of excited for. I wouldn't mind throwing down money for it, only for like another piece of gaming history slash memorabilia. I do kind of fear for the future when like the buttons start to break down because as high quality as they might be, they are still arcade buttons, so you would have to either fix them yourself or send them in somewhere. Um, but yeah, I would really love if they could add more games later on because again, it says like it will include 16 pre-installed games. And when you're saying pre-installed, that kind of makes a hint that like it might be possible to update if it has the space.
That'd be
So
interesting.
yeah, so for roughly $260, it's definitely not going to be like a casual device. It's definitely going to be for Capcom fans, fighting game fans, or classic game fans more. But yeah, I wouldn't mind picking it up. I don't know how big it's going to be though, because it looks like it's going to be like a table wide.
Yeah,
Let me check.
because that thing looks pretty big, but like I want to imagine that it probably just looks like the size of two typical. Like you imagine like a normal size arcade, and the player one, player two side. I'm assuming it's going to be that, but you rip that thing out, and then you put like the extra little sides on for the logo itself. So I'm thinking it shouldn't be too big, but I definitely can't see me playing that by myself with it being as big as it is, unless you, like you said, you sitting on top of a table. Like at game bars, they have like fight sticks like that. Um, well, no, I keep saying fight. They have arcade sticks like that. But they sit those on a table. So like you said, unless you got a table you're gonna be playing on for this thing, then
Mm.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm seeing the dimensions on the website. It says that it's 74 centimeters wide. That's 29 inches. Let's say 29.1 inches. So let's say 29 divided by 12. That's not wide at all. That's 2.4 feet wide.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. It shouldn't be too much bigger than a typical arcade
Is
cabinet size.
why for some reason like 2.5 feet doesn't sound that big though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's not like arcade cabinets aren't that big. Like when you think about it, like imagine, remember how scrunched up we used to be on those things?
I guess not because it's been forever since. No, I was at an arcade thing back at PAX, but yeah,
Uh,
that I don't know. I was expecting like maybe 3 feet, like just a full extension, so like you're not just shoulder to shoulder. But nah, now that you mention it, it makes a lot of sense.
of course it does. I said it.
Yeah. And it's not curved out either, so like it's parallel, so you will be shoulder to shoulder. Unlike I think the X-Men arcade where you could like kind of angle out just a little bit.
You know, you show this is the real arcade experience, son.
Yeah. So
Smell my breath. No, I'm
jeez.
joking.
This is how I lose. But looking forward to it. That's the last bit of news. So moving on, we already talked about what games we're looking forward to. So as far as production stuff kind of going, what are you going to be up to? What can people look forward to, and where can they find you?
You can look forward to me playing Mario Odyssey, the new Sonic game, and Cuphead over on LoXus underscore TV at twitch.com, of course. Follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna definitely start posting on there more. I'm doing all kind of funny retweets. Continue to support my YouTube channel. I'm going to be posting highlight videos from the stream, and also maybe I may do some Let's Plays. Or more than likely, it's going to be me playing through the game on my stream, and then me just uploading it on YouTube probably. 'Cause that's more my style. Also, check out well, I'll let him get to the stuff you can follow him on. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay, so you can follow me at DT-Faux. That's DTFAUX on Twitter. I'm trying to get more into posting some more personal stuff. I'm gonna post up like a quick speed drawing and like a picture I finished on the iPad Pro not too long ago. Um, and I'm hoping like I can link people to other stuff I'm up to later on. As far as art stuff, I'm hoping I can start compiling new pieces and new ideas so I can get like comics and ideas going starting in May. But as the job hunt continues to pick up, I don't know how much time it's going to be for either of those. We'll see. I got to do portfolio stuff anyway, so maybe there'll be something to show
You
anyway.
should stream your art.
Yeah, maybe if I get the time, because it's
I
such a
would watch
sporadic
that.
thing.
I would watch that joint.
Yeah, for like all 5 minutes.
I would watch that joint all the way through.
So yeah, I'm still considering that because it's always just a kind of performance anxiety. Like it's just easier to play games on stream than it is to like draw, because like then you'll have like backseat artists in a way sometimes.
Nobody can backseat you on your own style. It doesn't work like that.
Oh, really? You doubt the power of people online, ZJ?
No, I am the people online. I know this shit.
Yeah, probably. So there's that. I'm currently doing some recordings of SteamWorld Dig, which I'm processing the videos now. I'm hoping to upload them before the end of the week, and like maybe one per day. We'll see how that goes. I want to return to Breath of the Wild really soon. Then just in general, I want to get back into the Let's Play scene, even though apparently YouTube isn't really the healthiest place these days. And apparently moving to Twitch might actually be the better idea. But it's like doing a live show versus doing a recorded show. And I still feel comfortable doing recorded shows and live shows, but we'll have to see. Things are going to have to change sooner or later.
That's right. Play that Let's.
Yeah. So
hit record.
So yeah, you can find my old Let's Plays at DT-Faux Classic, and you can find my newer Let's Plays at DT-Faux Gaming. So that's pretty much all on my front. Any last words you got to say before we end this podcast, LoXus?
Now it's time for so long. Do 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 do. I'm not gonna do that. But all right, guys, you take it easy. Much love. Thanks. Thanks for doing your part. You sure are smart. You know, with me and you and DT-Faux too, we can do anything that you want to do. Yeah. No, but you guys be easy, man. I appreciate it. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. And look at the videos to the side and decide if you want to watch something else on my channel.
Yeah. And last thing, actually, we are still waiting for people to send emails. Email us at P4FX@gmail.com. That's PAUSE, the number 4, FX@gmail.com. Like, we'll answer something at this point. We're just kind of waiting. But yeah, get on it, please.
Get on that shit. We're making us wait.
All right, so that's all, and we're going to be ending now. See you guys next time as we do another episode of P4FX.
Bye-bye.
Peace.